Yo, 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 what's good, man? It's your boy O.N.E once again, bringing you 60 seconds of substance. Today we're coming out of the book of Second Kings, chapter 4, verses 1 through 7, talking about Elijah and the widow's oil. A certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets cried out to Elijah, saying, "Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, and the creditor is coming to take my two sons to be his slaves." So Elijah said to her, "What shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house?" And she said, "Your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil." Then he said, "Go, borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors, empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons. Then pour into all the vessels and set aside the full ones." So she went from him and shut the door behind her and her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured it out. Now it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said to her son, "Bring me another vessel." And he said to her, "There is not another vessel." So the oil ceased. Then she came out and told the man of God. And he said, "Go, sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest." And so, this is the story where the widow who, had a husband who feared the Lord. I would imagine she feared the Lord as well. She fell on hard times. She had a debt that was left after the passing of her husband. And back in those days, when the creditor comes to collect, if you're unable to pay the debt, they're able to take you and your sons as slaves in order to work off the debt. All right, and so she didn't want this to happen, so she was pleading with Elijah on what to do. And so when he asked her what did she had, she said all she had was a jar of oil. That's it. He told her prophetically to go and collect, vessels, empty vessels, from your neighbors, not just a few, but go get as many as you can. And then not only do that, but when you come back in, shut the door behind you and your sons and pour into the vessels. Now, to the common eye, or us looking in the natural, we would look at that as like, what is that supposed to do? I don't have anything, so how am I going to get anything out of nothing? Right? Nothing from nothing leads to nothing, right? Well, that's in the physical, but in the spiritual, God can do, exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can hope for or even desire, right? And so on faith, that's what she did. And so not only was she able to collect vessels and pour into the vessels with just that jar of oil that she had, but she was able to pour so much into the vessels that she ran out of vessels to pour into. So think about that. If you a believer, a true believer, to know that you serve a God that could take you from lack to abundance. That's your 60 seconds of substance. And remember, God is inspirational substance.